Warhammer 40K is finally arriving to Amazon Prime and it looks glorious. So what's going on and what do you need to know? Amazon just released the trailer for their new anthology series Secret Level, where each episode will be an animation based on a popular video game brought to us by the creators of Love, Death and Robots. One of these episodes will feature the Warhammer 40K universe, starring none other than Titus of the Ultramarines. Before we get into the Warhammer Community article, let's have a good look at what the trailer actually shows us. First off, it opens up with a group of Ultramarines battling what seems to be Zangors, if I pronounce that correctly, the demon beastmen of the chaos god Tzeentch, god of magic, change and the architect of fate. The fact that the trailer opens up with 40K is quite telling indeed. It seems like they're betting on it. Their opening presentation to the world is Space Marines doing some good old purging. I must say, everything in this animation looks amazing, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's dying to see more, because this is absolutely glorious. After the Ultramarines finish off with the Tzeentch demons, they continue on their way, and one Ultramarine, presumably Titus, is pulling on some kind of mysterious chest. What might that be, I wonder? Moving on to the next bit of footage we have on the Ultramarines, we see Titus again charging a vehicle and pulverizing it with his power armor. Again, an amazing little peek into the brutality of the 41st millennium. The vehicle seems to belong to cultists, and since we saw Tzeentch demons before, it's safe to assume these might be Chaos cultists. However, let's not forget that this episode will be based on the Space Marine 2 game, and in that game, the two main enemies are the Tyranids and the forces of Tzeentch, such as cultists, Thousand Sons, and Tzeentchian demons. So maybe, just maybe, these could be Genestealer cultists. But by the looks, it kind of does give off more of a Chaos vibe to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, from a cohesion point of view, it makes sense that the villains or quote-unquote bad guys of the story will all be from the same faction, as not to confuse any newcomers to the setting, because if you get Genestealers and Tyranids mixed up with Chaos cultists and demons, it might get a bit confusing. So those are the only few seconds we get out of the trailer of this Warhammer 40K episode of Secret Level, and to be honest, yeah, it just looks amazing. Now that we're done with it, let's go and read the Warhammer Community article on the subject. Secret Level is an anthology of animated stories coming to Prime Video later this year, with each episode set in a universe of a popular video game, a quote-unquote secret level. Inspired by the highly anticipated game Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, there's a whole episode set in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. Our own Warhammer studio partnered with the talented team at Blur of critically acclaimed Love, Death and Robots renown to ensure the episodes stay true to the tone and themes of the setting. The result is an animation we're proud to present as a definitive Warhammer story. We're pretty pumped to see Titus and the boys in animated action, and we won't have to wait long. And here, let's just stop a little bit to have a look at this image over here, where we have Titus and the boys heading into what seems like a vault of some kind, perhaps on their battle barge or maybe on a sanctuary world. We can identify Titus as the one who's not wearing the iron halo because he doesn't wear one in the game, and that way it's easier to set him apart from the other Ultramarines. Also, we know that one is Titus because he's the one with the chains on his gauntlet like he has in Space Marine 2. Now, it's a bit too soon to speculate, but I wonder if the other three characters are also going to be from Space Marine 2. Titus seems to be carrying a sealed container, perhaps some kind of chaos artifact that needs to be locked away somewhere safe. And he's not carrying on himself or in his arms or anything, he's pulling it with a chain, which indicates whatever is in there is probably quite dangerous. So much so that Titus doesn't even want to touch it and will carry it as far away from him as possible. And this is pure speculation, but probably this chaos artifact or whatever is in that mysterious chest is going to be their main mission of the story. For now, we have no idea if this animation is going to take place prior, during, or after the events of Space Marine 2. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Also in this image we can see that they have captured the essence of 40k, a candlelit chamber with towering statues of what look like space marines, a massive door with a double-headed aquila, and a couple of dudes at each side of the doors which could be chapter serfs maybe if this is on the battle barge, or maybe they're from the ranks of the ecclesiarchy. And just look how massive the space marines are compared to them. This undoubtedly looks and feels very 40k. Anyway, carrying on with the article, the secret level anthology will be available to watch on Prime Video in over 240 countries on December 10th. Titus returns even earlier than that of course in Space Marine 2, the most anticipated Warhammer computer game of the decade, arriving in less than 3 weeks on September 9th. This standalone animation is a separate project from the Warhammer 40k TV and film projects we've previously announced. Those are still in development. We'll share more news about them as soon as we can. So not only are we getting Space Marine 2 on the 9th of September, but on the 10th of December, we're getting the very first Warhammer 40k animation to air on a worldwide platform. This is going to be a glorious year for 40k fans. And sure, there's always Warhammer Plus, but that's mostly for people who are already fans of the setting. It's not a very well known platform to the mainstream audience. Ask any random person if they know what Warhammer Plus is, and they'll most likely shrug and say, what the hell is that? Amazon Prime, however, is a big shot, and not only that, this show features incredibly popular settings like D&D, Armored Core, and video game characters like Kratos from God of War. Also, it's from the creators of Love, Death and Robots, which was a highly successful series, which will ensure that Secret Level will be viewed by millions. Although it's just a standalone episode, this will likely be the gateway to 40k for many newcomers. This very well might be the start of the golden age of Warhammer series and films we've all been waiting for our entire lives. I know there's a lot of fear and worry that when 40k becomes mainstream, it will be dialed down and adjusted to appeal to a wider audience like what happened to other franchises before it, but at least this Secret Level 40k episode seems to be on the money. I mean, it's very difficult to go wrong with a story of Space Marines fighting Chaos Cultists and demons. But sure, we never know. And I know it's too soon, but I for one have faith. This looks incredible, and I'm hoping it will stay true to the lore and to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. On that note, what the hell is going on with the Henry Cavill 40k series with Amazon? Well, there was a lot of speculation that it might get cancelled, but the note at the end of the article states that this standalone episode is a separate project from the 40k shows they've already announced. Those are still in development, and they'll share news about them as soon as they can. So no, this has nothing to do with the Henry Cavill shows, but it does seem we'll know more about them soon, so maybe that's good news and the shows are still on their way. All in all, in December, 40k makes its way onto one of the biggest streaming platforms in the entire world, with Ultramarines, because of course it was going to be Ultramarines, fighting Chaos Demons and Cultists. Maybe even we might see some Rubric Marines and some Thousand Suns. It looks very promising indeed. The animation is glorious, and I for one can't wait to watch it. Once it's out, I'll probably do a video analysing the episode in detail, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss it. That's all from me for now, but what do you guys think? Are you hyped, or do you think it will be a disappointment? Let me know in the comments below, leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll meet again in the next video.